people, how are you all? It is stupidly warm here at the minute. Not as bad as a few weeks ago, admittedly, but I was up in Scotland back then, so didn't have as bad a time with it. Regardless, though, I have a Speedpaint, I have a flask of iced coffee, and so I am ready. Let's do this. I am aware it has been an age, over a month, I think, since I last did a full-length video of any kind. Obviously, there was my Webtoon launch announcement last week. Check that out, by the way, if you have the time. But otherwise, there's been pretty much nothing, and the title of the video may give you some indication as to why. Art block. We've all been there, right? There, this time, specifically being not a lack of motivation to draw, but a lack of enthusiasm for any one specific idea. As I said, I've been doing a lot of comic work for the last few weeks, and that was all completely fine, mostly because it was already planned and half sketched, so it was just a case of sitting down and filling in the blanks and adding the line art, which has been very fine, very therapeutic. Now, it's been the individual pieces that I've really struggled with instead. I did the Valkyrie one, of course, which I was fairly excited about, I guess. I wanted an excuse to draw her in those adorable shorts. But was I happy with it? Did I have anything to say about it? Not particularly. I also did a drawing of May from & Juliet last week, mostly because I thought they were a really cool character and figured I should draw them, but that one I didn't even like enough to post on Instagram, and it's been a long time since that happened to me. In fact, I realised recently that excluding my comic or the odd sketch or doodle in my sketchbook, I haven't produced a piece I've been really happy with since my Witcher art at Christmas, which, I mean, it's August, guys. That's like 6 months ago. And the thing is, I couldn't really work out why. Part of me wonders whether the botched attempts at backgrounds and maybe trying some minimalism would help. Another part of me wonders if it's drawing individual characters rather than characters interacting, which I've certainly done more of recently. And whilst I have drawn a few couples, they've all been pretty separate compared to my past stuff, kind of just standing near each other rather than properly interacting. Maybe it's just I'm not spending enough time on my various pieces. And this drawing would probably suggest that the answer is a combination of all these things, because this actually is something I'm happy with for a change. And if you notice the timestamp, this one took me 4 and a bit hours, whereas a lot of the stuff I've done recently has taken me like an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. So this drawing came about because I think I was reading some fanfic or something, I've forgotten by now, when I got the sudden urge to draw a part of a scene with just like a really cute kiss in it. I actually really love drawing kisses, but rarely get them to look quite right. But this sketch came out so adorable, you can see it on the left-hand side of the screen, that I had to paste it into Clip Studio and start work on it. I think what finally broke me out of the art block was possibly just indulging in drawing the fan art I wanted to draw. I often try not to draw the same characters too often so that I don't end up developing a following who exclusively want to see said characters rather than a range of stuff, which is what I tend to fall back on eventually. I also have drawn Crowley and Aziraphale a couple of times, but never quite managed to get them looking right. However, it's been a while since I did a digital drawing for them, and I've never actually drawn a kiss for them, so I figured, why not? Let's just do this, give this a try. You can't get any worse from here. And I think it worked really well. I actually changed up their proportions a little from my usual style, kind of bigger head to body ratios, or possibly just shorter legs than I usually do. Plus, I think making Crowley's legs much skinnier than I would have allowed before has kind of added to the stylization of it. There's also something about the point where Aziraphale's nose meets his brow that's kind of like squishy and just came out really nice and gave me like the kind of face squash that I wanted from this, if that makes any sense at all. I had a lot of fun with the lighting too. Something about dramatic lighting always makes characters look more interesting, I think. And it also really helps get away from the fact that my shading is kind of basic and adding the lighting on top just makes it have an extra kind of dimension to it. The only significant faux pas I believe I made in this drawing was that section near the beginning when I attempted an actual detailed background with perspective and everything. I know it's something I have to learn eventually, but I do believe the quality of my backgrounds is massively pulling the overall quality of my artwork down. That said, I blurred the background out behind the rain effect, and I think that saved it. As an experiment, I also tried replacing the background with a plain dark colour off camera once this was finished, to see whether the simpler backing would make it look better, and I'm yet to decide which I like best, but I think I am leaning towards the plain background. The other thing that has come up during this piece, though, is my line art skills versus my shading skills. It's something that I've been vaguely aware of before, but I think all the sketching and comic work has meant that my line work has really improved quite a lot recently, whilst my shading has stayed somewhat stagnant, and it wasn't exactly great before. This has led to an unfortunate kind of clashing of abilities between the two that I think often leaves some of the stuff I've drawn looking a lot flatter than I imagined it. I'm not quite sure what to do about that right now. I covered it up with the fancy lighting here, like I said, but I'm wondering if in the future it might make more sense to do super detailed line art and scale my shading back to a more basic level, at least till I've got a better grasp on the fundamentals of what I'm doing. Or maybe I should practice some kind of anime cell style shading, because it's much harder to kind of fudge that and make it look right, unlike the, paintbrush I'm currently using, which automatically blended it. I feel like if I'm stuck with cells, I kind of have to learn how to make it work, otherwise all my art's just gonna look terrible. And it might help me learn more about how I should really be doing this. Either way though, I'm really glad to finally have something that I'm happy to post again. Crawling Aziraphale in the Rain is possibly a little bit cliche now, given the number of people who've drawn similar scenes, probably mostly based on, the Eden scene in the Season 2 poster. But they're just so damn cute that I don't really mind that it's a little bit cliche. No, it's definitely reminded me how much I enjoy drawing cuddles and embraces and the like, and honestly just people being cute. I really can't wait till the romantic subplots in my comics start to take off so that I can just draw more cuteness on top of this. But yeah, that really was one of the most rambling voiceovers I've ever done. I swear I do technically script these things, even though, as I've discovered, my brother apparently listens to my videos and is shocked as I script these, but I do technically, but yeah, it just went a bit off track. So well done if you made it this far. Because I have absolutely no shame, I'm going to plug my comic again. It's called Knights or Fools, and you can find it on Webtoon or via my Linktree, which will be in the description. So please check that out if you have the time, I would really appreciate it. I would love some more feedback on it. But I really hoped you enjoyed this chaotic mess of a video, and further hope that you all have a lovely week. And I guess I'll see you all soon. Bye!